For 40 minutes, along with over 25 of my colleagues, a violent, angry mob was attempting to break through the Capitol and prevent a fair and free election from being enacted. Let me tell you, it was not a love fest. It was not a peaceful demonstration. I was there. And many of the 1,500 individuals that were pardoned yesterday had pled guilty to assaulting officers with tasers, with other means that created great body injury and mental harm to those 150 police officers who were trying to protect our nation's capital. And so I take it personal. This was not appropriate in my view. And by the way, I think the issue of pardons in the last week or so by both presidents, I take issue with, frankly. I don't think one set of pardons justifies another set of pardons, frankly. For those of us who witnessed that day, it is the saddest time of the 20 years I've been in Congress that we would see this in the oldest democracy in the world. So I'm very concerned about the impacts of these pardons and attempting to rewrite the history of January 6th, 4 years ago.
Well, a lot of people are very concerned about the abuse of pardons, certainly that we saw under President Biden. And not that they're the first ones ever that have been considered sort of abusive, but the pardon power is well outside the purview of Congress. And I'll have to say that of the troubling pardons we've seen recently, the J6 pardons are certainly not the most troubling. I certainly don't condone violence against police officers ever. I'm a former prosecutor, but as a former prosecutor, I'm also a huge fan of due process, and the handling by the DOJ of those cases afterwards were at least as troubling as the acts themselves. So I don't have a great deep knowledge of all the particulars that went on, but if you're not going to get due process in court, you sort of tie the hands of the president. Attacking a police officer in the United States is a terrible crime, should be punished. Absolutely should be punished, but they've been in jail for 4 years without any action, and they've had the punishment. So you can argue about whether or not those acts should be expunged from their record through a pardon, but they certainly got their punishment.
So my reaction to that was he just released people who engaged in a violent insurrection, cop killers, by the way, and people who were trying to hurt members of Congress, and basically domestic terrorists. And so what worries me about this particular move, aside from an insurrection that he fomented, is that these people are going back out into the community, and it's highly likely that some of them are going to commit crimes again. The people that you just named, the general and Dr. Fauci, those are people who Trump named as political enemies. And his whole campaign, and even his actions now, are based on revenge and retribution. So President Biden pardoning them was a way to protect them. His son was considered a political enemy. He was used as fodder unfairly. And we just want to make sure that when President Biden talks about who he pardoned, he did so to protect people who were identified as political enemies.